I read an article yesterday. They blamed it on you, Pete.
Of course they did.
They said that.
Of course.
I said under you, the Department of Transportation allocated over $80 billion for DEI grants.
Okay.
Instead of putting money into
yeah. So
the actual airlines.
Yeah.
The airports.
Obviously, I think that's bullshit. Let's break it down. First of all, quote unquote DEI grants. We're talking about transportation funding that they're now getting rid of. So Milwaukee, 6th Street, we funded a project, $34 million, to help make a set of improvements to a very dangerous street where there have been a lot of crashes and that has divided the community. We provided funding. They're also going to improve the sewer while they're at it. I mean, this is bread and butter stuff that's going to make the city better off. Trump administration killed that grant because the application talked about equity. It talked about one of the reasons for funding this project being that neighborhood had been underinvested in. There was a project in Missoula, Montana, connecting East Missoula across Highway 200. By the way, the Republican senator from Montana supported that project and wrote me a letter saying we ought to fund it, and we did. This administration killed it just because it was part of a program that mentions equity. So when they talk about quote-unquote DEI grants, often they're talking about fixing roads and bridges that happen to go into a black neighborhood or a low-income area.
The $80 billion that was allocated, they said 400 awards from 2021 to 2024. What did that actually go to? Because they're calling it DEI grants, but where did it go? What did it go to?
Yeah, so I don't know how they got the 80 billion number.
So
what I can tell
billion.
you, I mean, if you're counting like any project that was connected in any way to taking care of people who had been underinvested in, that'd be one way to do it. Because we had this whole idea of making sure that a good share of the grant money went to neighborhoods or communities that were cut out in the past. So, but again, there are these specific projects. East Toledo, we did a project to connect East Toledo to downtown Toledo, get people across this high crash corridor where they were having dozens of crashes. And it came under the heading of reconnecting communities or reconnecting neighborhoods, which this administration considers woke. So they're trying to cut it. To me, it's definitely important that it's going to a disadvantaged area. It's also just a good project. It's a good safety project. So they want to call it DEI. I would call it good policy. And this war on anything that has anything remotely to do with diversity, I think has gone to such an extreme. People are starting to feel it because it's starting to come for them.
Now, all of this is coming from the New York Post, so it just came out yesterday, so I'm giving you a chance to.
Oh yeah, so that specific article actually, it's I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would actually say it's worth reading because if you read it, you'll see a bunch of anonymous people, mostly from the airline industry, complaining with no kind of specific facts or figures, followed by a whole bunch of, which like the Post does, they put it at the bottom of the article, a whole bunch of facts and figures showing something different, which was our response. But yeah, obviously the airline industry was not a big fan of mine, right? Because I was a tough regulator. I mean, we moved the rule to make sure that you can get your money back if your flight gets significantly delayed. We had really tough penalties on airlines that were holding back on people's refunds. We pushed them on things like disability, making sure if they mangle your wheelchair that they have to take care of you. The current administration froze that rule. That's something we pushed on. So obviously, my replacement is an airline lobbyist, or he was an airline lobbyist. Obviously, the airline industry is happier with the new guy who was an airline lobbyist than with somebody like me who was a tough regulator. But that's the kind of inside baseball that drives these articles. And I think it's very telling that none of the people who were throwing stones in that article actually put their name to their quote.